Mexicali. We're rolling, about to get some clips though. Woo! Woo! We've been working on a part like in all of Mexico, wherever we get the chance to go, me and my boy Danny right here. And now that we've looked at the footage, kind of put it in the timeline, yes, I think by the end of this year, I'm almost positive that's for sure.
October?
Yeah, November. You know, like October, November. This is giving me something to do for the rest of the year.
All right, no bitch shit, here it goes. We've been doing it probably maybe 2 years. It was never really a thing until maybe like last year that we were like, okay, we should do a part. I mean, I think a big part of it at first was like the party side of it, you know, because that was actually a big thing the whole time. There was definitely a lot of times where I would like stop drinking and kind of take care of him. He's very gnarly in a lot of ways in his life. When he got to a certain point before with his drinking, you couldn't control him. You couldn't tell him anything. Like, hey, Tommy, like, you gotta stop. He's like, what the fuck, nah, fuck, dude. Like, don't tell me what to do or whatever, you know? He'll just get like you just can't control him, you know?
He's not a very good drinker. Like, I mean, you would think he could drink a whole shit ton, but he actually can't drink that much. But yeah, there were some crazy times to where you're like, is he drinking so much that he's gonna die, or can he actually handle this, or I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, there was times there were very huge question marks that I was scared to leave him because of it.
So he's from Chula Vista, which is deep San Diego. He had a totally different upbringing than a lot of the other guys, and pretty much had to fight for everything he had growing up.
I was just a neighborhood kid, lived down the street, and like the guy was on this board for freaking 7 to 10 hours a day, man. Literally 2 years, all of a sudden just had tech, started going big. This guy's doing switch hard flips and stuff quick, and that's when you knew like he was already kind of progressing past like the rest of us. He caught up and then went past us real quick.
Well, I remember getting a sponsored video and watching it for the first time, and my jaw was absolutely on the floor. It was incredible.
He was doing wild moves, like really big rail whip slides with no shirt, and he already had a zero tattoo on his back. Tommy was zero up and down, like through the DNA.
It's like you meet your soulmate and you're like, this is the one. When we met Tommy, we're like, well, this is the one. He's perfect.
My parents had two different views on it. My dad was church and he was a pastor, like super religious, and my mom was like the free-spirited kind of live your life how you want it, do it, just be smart. My dad just didn't really like skateboarding, obviously wanted me to finish school.
Some of the things that concerned me about skating were he was jumping off things that were dangerous. He was injured a couple times, and I had actually told him I didn't want him skating. So that caused a big rift and a conflict between us.
Well, what I saw is they wanted to see him achieve and be successful. And his older brother kind of was in trouble with the law, just running the streets. So they didn't want the younger child to be the same way. So they were being really strict on his ass.
It came to the point where literally we'd put boards in the bushes for Tommy. Like, he'd go to school, grab a board out of the bush, and be able to skate, you know, and then come home, put it back there, and just be like, oh yeah, I'm just walking home.
His desire to skate and to do his own thing and do it his way was quite evident. Well, he didn't want to be in school, and he left home. So yeah, what stands out the most is him leaving home at 17 and leaving on bad terms.
I liked weed, I liked partying, I liked cars, just all the hijinks you can imagine as a young adult. Like, and that was really popular in skateboarding too. Baker 2G like made me want to fucking be an alcoholic at a young age.
Spit grind. Tommy Sandoval, check him off the list.
I won like 7 G's or something, got first place, and the first thing I did was like buy a fucking limousine.
Coming from Chula Vista and being able to go back to the hood, like to where he grew up at, be like, I'm in a limo, and he packed all my friends in it. And I think that's the reason why he bought it, because he wanted to fit all of his friends in it. He's always surrounded by his friends and his family, and a minivan ain't going to cut it, and it ain't going to be cool. So he gets an old limo and packs it in. But yeah, we definitely thought he was crazy. And but I'll tell you, if there's any dude who looks good driving a limo, it's Tommy for sure.
Well, around that time we started following, and obviously anything we were doing at that point through Black Box, Tommy was also a beating heart, and having Tommy be a part of following was something that was absolutely seamless.
He's had a lot of video parts, and video parts are very hard to film. Some of the most influential skateboarders haven't had that many video parts. 2, maybe 3. I think his Ride the Sky part was the most polished his skateboarding could be. He did extremely hard tricks, but I know that he did a lot of them more than once. Cold War was pretty good too, man. It might be heavier than Ride the Sky. I watched his part in Cold War a lot of times, like a lot of times. I think that part's incredible.
Over the past 2, maybe 3 years, I was filming for Damn It All, right? And going down to Mexico, we would go skate first, get a trick. I would make sure I got a trick. So it became like a reward almost. Like if I get a trick, we'll grab a 24, you know, and just kick it, and it's all good. Likewise, down in Mexico, it's like get a trick, get as many as we can until I can't skate, or if I didn't get a clip, I'm like not gonna drink. Once I realized I was a drinker, it just became like my identity. Tommy Chilada or Young Meech or whatever, we like made these like funny like personalities around drinking, you know? And then like Tommy Guns, like that just made me feel like I need to live up to that like level of gnarliness, you know? When people think of me, they think like I'm just a fucking raging lunatic.
Here we go. Whoa.
There's a cover page.
Pretty good. Look at that. Boom. Crushing it.
It sounded refreshing.
Hey, he goes back. Look at this. Just getting started.
He's the first guest to ever shotgun a beer on the show.
That's true.
Look. No. Watch, look. And then you go here. Oh! What the fuck? Oh! There's change in there, bro.
Tommy, turn around, do it outside. Tommy, do it outside.
I never addressed real issues, real emotions, and those are the things that are really major in life that you're trying to numb your pain in whatever way possible. I don't know, whether it be from issues that I had when I was younger with my dad, or maybe the anxiety of, okay, I was in high school and, you know, I really didn't like it, so I dropped out of school and I wasn't mentally in the right place for a really long time. I actually had one breakdown where I feel like I was gonna go fucking absolutely nuts. It was about a year ago. I was driving up to go see my brother. He had got diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma, and he was pretty much on one of his last treatments that if it worked, he's gonna be with us, and if it didn't, he wasn't gonna do any more treatments. So I think that really hit me really hard, that I'm over here fucking wasting my life every day doing nothing and just kind of getting away with it. Meanwhile, my brother that doesn't do half the shit I do is diagnosed with cancer and has to deal with all this drama. I had like a 2-hour, 3-hour trek, and I just started thinking, just like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? Like, I just got so overwhelmed that I just started crying like uncontrollably. Like, I was super upset, then I was laughing, then I was crying, and all these emotions kept coming out, and I just couldn't pick one. I'm on the freeway like swerving and just fucking like punching my steering wheel and just screaming as loud as I can. And from that time until this, this past month, it was basically like losing interest in the party, kind of just realizing my importance, my stance in life. It came back positive that he's cancer-free, it's stagnant, it's not attacking his body anymore. And, that was a huge relief, not only for me, but for our family. And that kind of gave me some clarity and gave me a view on the reality of how easy or how quick life can just go by. So I'm just trying to get back to normal, whatever that is. This is something that kind of helps me, gives me something to do. It's a little bit of a process, so I think it's similar to like when I would make a michelada, maybe, when I would be drinking. So I'm a creature of habit, let's say, and this, fortunately, is a good habit. A lot of it had to do with my everyday life, like my kids. I know the routine of taking care of my kids, but not showing them that extra attention that they needed was the hard part. I think that's just something that I never really wanted to be a part of, nor do I want my son or my daughters to live that lifestyle and to have to deal with all that stuff. And even if they do, I'm gonna be there to at least offer some sort of advice, knowing that, I went through it myself and I dealt with the ups and downs. And I think my goal really is to get the best out of my everyday life, as well as if I'm gonna skate for the next 6 years, looking that I'm 34, I wanna be skating until I'm 40, just on that consistent level of having energy, being able to recover in due time, not be lagged out, not be a flake. I want to be dependable. I actually had Mark Johnson hit me up in a DM the other day, and I was fucking in shock. He lended me a hand in knowing it's okay, and he sent me his number, and he's like, hey, just call me or text me anytime, and I would love to talk about it. And just a lot of people that I never imagined would be reaching out makes me feel more confident in what I'm doing and more motivated. A lot of my time is spent still kind of doing the things I used to do. I DJ on a regular basis. I bought my first record when I was 16, and I grew up with my dad playing records for us around the house. So that was kind of something that I wanted to do when I got older. I wanted my own record player. This is my other thing that keeps me away from all the other stuff that I could be doing. I have plenty of time to spend making CDs. I have a CD recorder right here. I usually just hook it up to my mixer, and then from there I just back and forth, dropping tunes. Fuck it.
do this. He's such a gnarly person, like in every aspect of his life, that he needed that change for health reasons, for like sanity reasons, you know. I could tell his mind wasn't in the right place a lot of the times that we hung out, you know. And after he stopped drinking, he's like definitely more productive. He's like thinking better, no smoking. That's definitely gonna have a positive impact in his skateboarding career, definitely gonna extend a few years.
I'm gonna take my time with it, make it as good as I possibly can. I want it to be just like any other part I've had, but maybe even better now that I can fully give it my energy, my motivation. That's all gonna add up to the best video part I can have. I can honestly say, no matter what, I think I'll always be riding a skateboard. I feel like I'm connected not only to the people involved in skateboarding, but just skateboarding itself. Just the feeling of being on my board makes me feel free from all the troubles and the issues in life.
Well, that's what I said yesterday. I was like, minimum, gotta get 5 clips. Dude,
what's wrong right here?
Oh, fuck it. With a spray can?
Something that you can't even do.
I think that's like my real drug, is like the release it gives me from the daily, you know, hustle. Like I could be dealing with stress with the family and all that, but I go somewhere and skate and everything's forgotten about, just in those moments of like pureness, you know, you're just, you know, your thought becomes reality. And that's like really where you can explore how strong you are in your mind, and you know, how much you're willing to give something in order to get it done.